Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of College Ball with J Dog. Well, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you could start the video, could you smash that like button for me? Make sure you're subscribed. Just click that little bell, go hit all. That'll help my videos pop up on your phone or whatever device you watch on. And get in the comment section. Tell me what you think about the content. If you don't like it, tell me what I could do to make you like it. If you do like it, comment about what you like. That way we can get interacting with each other. We can turn this into an interactive page. I want to involve y'all a little bit as time goes on. If you're a Tennessee fan, I'm sure you enjoy getting the knowledge. If you're not a Tennessee fan, you tune in. As the season gets closer, it's not going to all be Tennessee, y'all. Once the season gets closer, we're going to do prediction shows. We're going to put some bets on here. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to throw some money on. Just some more interactive things for us, get other groups involved and all that. But where it's off season, I got job, family, all that. I really don't have time to go follow every team that closely. So as season gets closer, we will be going over other teams and doing prediction shows and going over the week for most major teams. I just want to throw that out there. If the channel grows, we'll turn it into more of a college sports show for everybody. I know I've done my conference predictions and stuff like that, and I'm still going to put my playoff predictions out, all that good stuff. So right around week zero, I'll do that week, and then going into week one, that week's show will be, obviously we'll talk a little bit about Tennessee, but it's going to be about college ball. That's why the show is called what it is. We're going to talk about matchups, why I think who's going to win, blah, blah, blah. We'll cover spreads, all that good stuff. So it's really going to be a college sports show. I know right now it's a lot of Tennessee stuff, but like I said, as the season gets closer, it'll be a whole college sports show. And in the off season, it'll probably be more about Tennessee. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. Please do that YouTube stuff for me. I just asked you to do. We're Al Wilson days away from kickoff, y'all. If you're a Tennessee fan, you know that number. If you ain't, it's 27. Less than 4 weeks, y'all. 20 days if you count week zero. I know I'll be tuned in to at least Iowa State and Kansas State. I'll probably watch the other little games they got going on just because I've been fiending for it so bad. So if you're like me and you're a college football junkie or an addict, you've been going through withdrawals, you're just ready to watch something, you'll be tuned in to all that week zero Saturday like me. We got in the show today, we got just some fall camp updates from day 4. I'm going to talk about Nico being ranked 8th and Phil Steele's top 25 quarterbacks. Not going to go over a whole list. Just thought that was absolutely egregious that he was ranked that high. And Edwin Spillman, if you've watched the other episodes, I've talked about how high I am on him. Well, apparently the linebacker coach, William Means, he's high on him too. I seen an article about that. Just thought we'd go over it. So let's get on into it, y'all. First up, we got the fall camp, so we're going to go over it. I ain't even read these yet. I just screenshot them so we can go over them together. With no Josh Joseph and no Josh Joseph today again. Caleb Herring and Jordan Ross led the group. Josh Joseph's fine. Just got to tweak something. Say he's just. They're going to be precautionary, y'all. With the main guys, they're going to be precautionary with. If you guys got a little injury, you're not going to practice. Especially guys that's been in the program 3-4 years like Josh Joseph. There ain't no reason to let them get out there and aggravate something even more than it is with the season so close. So there's going to be precautionary with a lot of these guys that's listed on the injury report. Obviously, some of the young backs have a ways to go. in this part of the game as expected. But Sean Bishop, Peyton Lewis have come a long way over the years, just like Dylan Sampson did from 2022. I don't know why that just cut off like that. Weird. I'm going to guess it's pass blocking. Freshman Dewanne Morris continues to look the part. He might not have a specific role in the backfield this fall. With there being 3 veterans ahead of him, his future is bright. Don't be shocked if he's back returning kicks and maybe even punts to begin the season. Morris, along with Braylon Staley, Mike Matthews, are probably the top 3 returners as of now. Pretty sure Boo Carter will be doing that once his little punishment stuff's over. I actually talked about Dewanne Morris yesterday. He's electric, y'all. He's a good fit for this offense. Quick, shifty. We flipped him from USC before signing day. He's a 4-star. Some of them was a 3-star. He's hurt his senior year, so he dropped from a 4 to a 3 on a couple sites. I don't know how you drop just because you're injured. I mean, you're still that player regardless if you're injured or not. But that's how these things seem to go, especially if like George McIntyre last offseason didn't camp. He had a shoulder injury, didn't camp, so he fell from a 5-star to a 4-star, and they never moved him back up. But Dewanne Morris, I say he will get some kick returns, punt returns this year, but I do think Boo Carter will be the main one. I could be wrong on that. On the offensive line, Sam Pendleton continues to get a good look at center. He has been repping with the first team lately as Tennessee tries to figure out if they're best 5 with him starting at center or with at guard. Basically, him at center, Umarov at guard, or Satterwhite at center, and Pendleton at guard. If Pendleton starts at center, I personally think that's a more veteran group. Satterwhite, I think, is a redshirt freshman. Pendleton's a redshirt sophomore, and Umarov's a redshirt sophomore. And Umarov's like 6. He's a big guard. I figured he'd end up playing tackle. He's like 6'6", 6'7". But we got the tackle spots loaded down with their 5 stars. So, like I said many times going over this, I think the offensive line is going to be improved this year. They were good at run blocking last year. They were, I'd say, middle of the road at pass blocking. We got some guys healthy. Lance Hurd's more in shape. Got David Sanders on the right side. Wendell Moy coming in from Arizona, starting at left guard. He was one of the best pass protectors in the country last year, according to PFF's pass protection grade. Sam Pendleton, his reps with Notre Dame, he did damn good. Let's see. Merklinger was working with the first group today with Aguilar and McIntyre following. So Aguilar was working with the ones yesterday, and now Merklinger's working with the ones, so they're flipping them back and forth. I personally thought Aguilar was running away with the job for a couple days, but today it seems like it wasn't quite as good. So the tight ends continue to look the best in the routes on air period. Miles Kitzman and Ethan Davis have been really good in space to begin camp. Freshman Deshaun Brame is still turning heads in routes on air, and Jack Vandorselayer, that's the best pronunciation I've heard of that. So if that's wrong, I apologize. Continues to be a pleasant surprise in this regard. I don't think Vandorselayer is a surprise at all. I mean, the coaching staff really wanted him. He's a 4-star out of Texas. So I don't like that they called him a pleasant surprise because the guy come in with pretty good expectations. It's not as high as Deshaun Brame. Deshaun Brame might work his way on the field this year, y'all. I mean, he's a damn athlete. I mean, if he can He ain't got to be in there blocking. Just come in on pass situations and be a mismatch nightmare for linebackers. I mean, kind of like Brock Bowers did for Georgia as a freshman. I mean, he's literally the best tight end as a freshman. I think that's kind of talent that the son Brame is. Whether or not he gets out there with Ethan Davis and Miles Kitzman ahead of him, that's a different story. But I think if he does, he's going to be a mismatch nightmare. We could really use him. But Ethan Davis is quick too, y'all. He just had an injury career, which he finally passed. Got up to second string last year. Maybe he's finally putting it all together. Sometimes it finally just clicks. But our tight ends are the deepest they've been since Heupel's been here. Last year was pretty deep at it, but this year I really like what we got at tight end. Chris Brazel has not practiced yet, and Mike Matthews was out today while the media was on him. So the 7 scholarship wideouts are down to just 5. Mike Matthews tweaked a little something. It's a minor injury. They're going to be precautious with them, like I said about the other injuries. Guys you need, no reason at all to put them out there and risk them getting hurt even more unless they're 100% healthy for fall camp. But we know Mike Matthews is going to be a dog this year. We know he's starting. No reason to put him in any jeopardy at all. So here did not practice while the media was in attendance. And just because they don't practice while the media's there, don't mean they didn't practice. The media sees 1/4 of practice, y'all. They see about 25, 30 minutes of 2-hour practice. So these are literally just tidbits. I mean, what happens after they leave, it could be a whole different practice. It could look a lot better. It could look worse. Just something fun to talk about. Give us an idea of what's going on. Today's routes on air was slightly better than Saturday's, but that's not saying much given how poor it was the day before. Football is still hitting the ground way too often, even for the first week of fall camp. Hopefully that gets worked out. We have been hearing about a lot of drops and a couple of overthrows and stuff. It is early in fall camp. You got new quarterback being one thing who's literally his first snaps in this offense have been this week. Merklinger's been in it for a while, but literally 2 of the quarterbacks. McIntyre got some spring work. But he's still a true freshman. Merklinger is a redshirt freshman. And Joey Aguilar, he's a fifth-year senior, but he's also literally this is his 4th practice. So things could stay a little sloppy for a little while. As long as we get some rhythm and stuff by the time the season goes, I'm not that worried about it. Also, like I said, they see maybe 25, 30 minutes of practice. They may just start a little rusty and improve. I'm not trying to sunshine pump. I'm just trying to say that it could not be as bad as they're saying as practice goes on. Obviously, we got to be sharp to start games. Last year, that was one of our problems, too. We started slow. I think there's like 3-4 games in a row. We didn't score a touchdown till after halftime. So we definitely don't need the slow starts this year. We need to start a little faster. That'll be something we can keep an eye on as fall camp continues. Raydarius Jackson, Travis Smith Jr., and Braylon Staley all had a drop. Smith Jr. and Staley don't have the most catchable pass to handle. But it's a catch an SEC receiver has to make. Wide receiver coach Kelsey Pope has been throwing tennis balls at his receivers throughout routes on air to help with the drops. So he's trying to keep them focused on the football by throwing tennis balls at them to distract them, make them focus on the football more, which I kind of like. It'd be funny to watch at practice as a coach slinging tennis balls at his receivers. Next up, got a little quarterback report here. I think we're moving on to 3. Sorry, I get a little sidetracked sometimes. Quarterbacks haven't done much to help their receivers. If anything, George McIntyre threw the best ball today while he worked exclusively with the reserves. Jake Merklinger also made accurate throws while we were out there, aside from a throw in which he led to some brain too much. Joey Aguilar struggled with 5 15-yard throws the quarterback were attempting. He had too much zip on throw to Smith, was behind Staley, and made poor throws to Ethan Davis and Tommy Winton. Like I said, different guys give you different information. The other guys said the catch should have been caught for SEC receivers. This guy said that it was all Aguilar's fault. So without being there, you don't know. Mike Davis. Where did I get Mike Davis? As I was looking at Ethan Davis up at the top. Mike Matthews off to the side stretching. When drills begin, the former 5-star recruit is day to day and expect to be full go soon. Chris Brazel is supposed to be back next week, they said. They spot him after drills begin, as has been the case all week. The redshirt junior receiver worked off in the side. I was right. Somebody said he was a senior yesterday. And I was like, no, he's a redshirt junior. I was correct on that. One new note on the offensive line was we were unable to spot William Satterwhite during the open portions of practice. Sam Pendleton, Max Anderson, Nick Moore were the trio working the center. Satterwhite was not present. So the other guy left that part out. He said Pendleton was snapping the ball. I never said anything about Satterwhite not being out there, so it was Pendleton just taking more reps today in center because Satterwhite's not there. What's going on with Satterwhite? Maybe he's got an injury. Maybe he had something to do. Family thing, something, you never know. Hopefully it's just a little knick-knack he's dealing with. With that, here are the numbers from the 5-ish minutes of routes on air we watched. Jake Merklinger was 9 for 10. Aguilar was 7 for 12. McIntyre was 9 for 9. Aguilar was 7 for 12. I think, it says the next. All 5 of Aguilar's incompletions were his first 5 passes, so he hit 7 in a row after that. I'm pretty sure a couple of them were drops. So, like I said, just a little slow start, and then they got going. I mean, 9 10, 7 12 wasn't the best from Aguilar. But like I said, his first 5 was incompletions, and then McIntyre 9 for 9. So the numbers wasn't as bad as they acted, I don't think. Aguilar definitely don't need to incomplete 5 passes in a row, but if 2 or 3 of them were drops, and that's just really 1 or 2 incompletions, you know. I think Aguilar is going to be the guy. Got off to a brutal start, throwing all 5 of his incompletions in a row. There were bad drops from Radarius Jackson, Travis Smith in there. And another drop on a ball over the middle that was a bit behind Braylon Staley, but he still should have caught it from what we heard. So right there, he should have been 10 for 12, not bad at all. So it wasn't really a brutal start for Aguilar, if you ask me. The receivers let him down. So the sounds of it, receivers have been struggling to catch the ball, and I hope they get that bug out of their system because we've had some problems with that the last couple of years. And a couple of years ago, especially when Milton would finally hit a deep ball, 1 out of every 10 he throw, that would actually be there. The receivers end up dropping it. I thought Merklinger had the best day that I had seen from him, was consistently accurate throwing the football, and his one miss coming on a ball he threw too far out ahead of tight end Son Brain. George McIntyre also had a really nice day when he continues to rep exclusively with the 3rd team. While we're out there, Aguilar and Merklinger continue to rotate the first team. Look, I ain't against Merklinger starting, y'all. I mean, I want the best guy out there. I just think it's going to end up being Aguilar because he's got all the experience. He's went to rough environments. He played at Clemson last year. He's just played more ball. He's got more experience. But that don't mean he's better. I think he's going to start, but if it's Merklinger, I'm not going to be disappointed. I mean, I just want us to win. I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't care if you run the Wildcat airplane, just win. Couple of final notes on the offensive side of the ball. Aguilar had the GoPro on his helmet today after Merklinger wore it the last two. Travis Smith Jr. repped with the first team with Matthews sideline. Receiver coach Kelsey Pope was sporadically throwing tennis balls at his receivers when they weren't in active reps, urging them to catch the tennis balls with two hands. Okay, so while they was running routes, is while they was waiting to run routes, he's throwing tennis balls to make sure they staying alert, which is pretty hilarious still. Freshman Ethan Utley and Marion Dye simply do not look like freshmen. Isaiah Campbell doesn't look quite as put together as those guys, but he still looks part of a top 50 recruit. So the freshman defensive linemen and edge rushers we brought in, those three look like dogs, y'all. I mean, they're probably going to get some PT too. If you ask me, because Rodney Garner, he loves to rotate 10, 11, 12 guys. If they don't get PT in the damn Syracuse game, they're definitely going to get some playing time in the ETSU game. Jackson Moore and Bryson Easton were the first two defensive tackles going through drills, but I continue to believe that David Hawes is the highest ceiling guy in that room. And a dude that can change the outlook of Tennessee's defensive line if it all comes together. I agree. I think it's going to be Jackson Moore and David Hobbs starting, and then Bryson Easton will get the extra reps, or even Bryson Easton and David Hobbs. David Hobbs is going to start. This is his third year. He's a 5-star, this high potential guy. So to recap, quarterbacks look pretty good. They said Aguilar had a bad day, but when 3 of your 5 incompletions are drops, I don't consider that a bad day. So that's 2 days in a row. I think the quarterbacks had a pretty good day. Receivers, it seems like every day, all 4 days, receivers had problems with drops. That's a little discouraging, but it's still early in fall camp. Hopefully we can get that taken care of. Defense, I think defense, they don't really talk much about the defense. But I think our defensive line is going to be nasty again. I know a lot of people, we lost Omar Norman Law. We lost James Pierce. Yes, we lost them from the deepest part of our defense, y'all. Latin secondary. And linebackers even deeper this year, too. A lot of people think I'm crazy when I say our defense will be better this year than even last year. But I really think they will. Somebody that agrees with me. He said at first he thought we might struggle on defense after losing them guys, but he said the more he looks at it, he thinks we're going to be all right, and that's Greg McElroy. And McElroy's a pretty knowledgeable guy. He's not always right about everything. I thought it was cool that he said when he first started looking at Tennessee, he's like, man, their defense, like, no way it could be as good. Now, watching him, he said he thinks it could be a top 10 defense. And I do too. I want to go over this. Feel still, we're not going over all 25. This is your top 8 right here. Look at this. Would you look at this? Just look at it. Nico, I am a Leva. I know it's Iamaliava. Nico, I am a Leva at number 8. Can y'all believe that? They got Nico over guys like Rocco Beck, Avery Johnson, Josh Hoover from TCU. I mean, I can name more and more and more. What has Nico done to deserve to be 8 on that list? Had a mediocre redshirt freshman season last year. Could have had a way better one. Could have had from anywhere from like 25, 28 touchdowns if he could have just hit wide open deep balls. So what has Phil still seen that we ain't seen? Me personally, I think Arch Manning's a little high. He could be that high. But we're not ranking off potential, I didn't think. I thought we was ranking off what guys have already done. Still don't see what everybody sees in Drew Aller. Carson Beck, 2023 Carson Beck, sure. 2024 Carson Beck, no. Sam Levitt, I could agree with. Lenore Sellers, I think he's rated pretty right. Everybody's really high on Garrett Nussmeier. I think he's pretty good. I'm not as big a fan of him as everybody else is. That wasn't the whole reason I pulled that list up for us to debate that. I just want to know, do y'all think Nico's going to be the 8th best quarterback in college football this year at UCLA with that little bit of talent in the Big Ten? And what do you think Mayfield is still ranking at high? Off potential? Number 8. If he'd have said he's top 20, top 15, I wouldn't even be arguing that much. But top 8 after what we watched last year? I don't know. Phil Steele also dropped us from number 8 to freaking like number 40 almost, all from losing Nico. So I guess he's pretty damn high on Nico. I don't know. I just feel like we won 10 games last year with them being very mediocre. So I don't know why him leaving would affect us that much as far as, I mean, if he would have took the next step this year, sure. We could have been 12-0. But even if he would have stayed and just had another mediocre season, why couldn't we go 10-2 again? We got a very talented team again. Same schedule, just play. Do every played on the road in conference, play home, and every played at home, you play on the road. Anyway, I've been going on about Edwin Spillman, how I think he's going to be a dog this year. How I think he's could take somebody's starting job. Jeremiah T-Landers, not Arion Carter's. Right here, 6'1", 230. Frame isn't necessarily 8'5", 1,200-pound build of the Incredible Hulk, but linebackers coach William Inns sees the same tenacity and power from Spillman's game that the comic book icon brings to the silver screen. I think my sickness will be gone after today. His ability to attack, and that's what he's the combination of both Arion with his speed and physicality and T-Lander with his ability to run through a wall. So that's what I was saying. Arion Carter's the guy that's got speed. I mean, he's a good tackler and stuff. T-Lander's more of the run stopper. Spillman's both. That's why I really think he's going to take T-Lander's job. Because, I mean, you can't keep a guy. You got to put the best guys on the field. Don't matter about seniority. If he's a combination of Arion Carter and Jeremiah T-Lander, he's got to be on the field. And T-Lander can come in and relieve him or Carter when they need a rest or they get a little nicked up, whatever. I really think Edwin Spillman is going to be a starter by the end of this football season. Like if you had a brick wall up, he's the Incredible Hulk because he's going through the wall. And that's literally exactly what we love about Edwin. And I think that's where he's going to continue to keep on rising. He's like yeast every day. He gets better. He gets taller. He gets bigger. Everything that you want out of a player, it's a blessing to have him on our football team. So I've been praising him since fall camp began. Coach is praising him now. Look for Edwin Spillman to play a lot, play often, and probably be a starter by the end of the year. And don't be surprised if he pushes Arion Carter for the best linebacker on this team. And that's saying something because I think Arion Carter is a freaking dog. Arion Carter, he's one of my favorite players on the team, all because of what he done on his recruiting day. He's picking between us and Bama. Bama thought they had him in the boat. We ended up swooping in, getting him to flip over. And Alabama's coach showed up at his school, tried to pitch him one more time, and he wouldn't let him in the school. That's my kind of guy. So after that, he's become one of my favorite players since he wouldn't let Alabama's defensive coach in to his commitment ceremony. That's the show for today, y'all. I appreciate you tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it. On your way out, if you haven't already, hit the like button. share, subscribe. As always, go Vols, baby.